Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Research in the Virtual World, Tips to Maximize Research Quality in Your Online Qualitative Research Project. This is the third session in our webinar series, and today we'll go more in depth into online qualitative projects, how to execute them, and how to leverage those great technology features to help increase the quality of your research experience and deliverables. Speakers today include Dan Weber, CEO of Itsrax, and Anne-Marie Sanmez, Client Account Executive with Itsrax. They will be providing a presentation and a Q&A session afterwards. Please enter your questions and comments throughout the webinar in the bottom of the GoToWebinar panel, and we'll have an engaging discussion afterwards.
Thank you everyone for joining this discussion today. I'm pleased to be presenting in the final webinar for this series. The first item I will be going through today is fact or fiction. And it's just coming to the question of, is people thinking that online qual isn't as good as in-person qualitative research. And we just want to let you know that that is a false statement. And in a lot of cases, the flexibility of online can make it for even better results. I understand completely the fear of in-person interactions and moving towards an online, because in person you actually do have that special connection with that individual, and people often worry that they're going to lose some depth when they have these interactions online. The good news is, though, that this does not appear to be true in practice for many projects, as long as you plan and execute properly. In fact, moving your research online can actually improve your insights in some cases. For example, moving online can improve the candidness of responses. Not everybody feels comfortable being completely open in front of others, and being behind a screen can lend that extra courage to be honest. Also, being in the comforts of your own home naturally allow people to be more relaxed. For projects like product testing and user experience, what better environment to test it in than the one you'll actually be using the product in? Think of it this way. Are you really going to prepare a meal the same way in your test kitchen, free of distractions, or, whereas at home you might have a baby or an animals running around? The 3 points that I will be going through today to help you achieve this maximum quality are recruiting the right people, choosing the right methodology, and using the right technology that fits all your research needs. Dan now will be going over the first point, recruiting the right people.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. And indeed, recruiting the right people is the first step in maximizing the quality of your online projects. For whatever reason, in today's COVID day and age, what we're finding is that there is a few more reasons for people to be looking to find their way into online qualitative exercises, whether that's more time or the need for a little bit more money. I think now more than ever, you want to be diligent about your recruiting process. So just some points when thinking about getting started. Picking your sources. There's a number of traditional qualitative research companies that did traditional focus groups. They employed very good practices, ways to really vet out people properly. So any one of those are typically a good source. You're going to want to talk to them a little bit about their ability to test against the participants being able to use technology, but that's an option as well. We encourage, and what we do here when we're recruiting is we have people complete a video articulation or rescreening question. This allows our clients to actually see the people that might be part of that group. We know that they're articulate, we know they've rescreened properly, and they're probably the people that they say they are. Another option is also to check your sources, and when I say that, I mean check the sources of the participants. So things like LinkedIn, things like Facebook. If someone is real and is out there, you usually can find them in some form or fashion. So have your recruiters check their sources, make sure that they're the people that they say they are. And then text is the new call. Sometimes calling people and getting a hold of them as part of that process is difficult. Not all people are willing to pick up their phone from a another state or province. As soon as you get in a conversation on a text engagement, often you can reassure that that's the person that you think they are. Often when you're recruiting, you might have the people right where you want them, and that's where you need to capture them. And we offer a live intercept recruiting option. So let's say you're looking to talk to people that have just searched your website, and did they find what they need? We can actually invite them in that moment and take them to a qualitative exercise. Obviously, you haven't necessarily screened for all the components, but it's someone who is using your service at that time, and that's the person you want to talk to. There's a number of different ways we can capture them, or reasons or places that you might want to consider that. Perhaps they're registering for an event, and did they make it through the registration process? Did they actually get registered? A big one where we're seeing a lot of interest is in cart abandonment. There's an awful lot of online purchasing right now that's taking place. People make it all the way through the purchase process, and just before they buy, they abandon that cart. That's when we want to capture them, say, you know what, we noticed you went through this process, you opted out of the final step. Do you want to talk to someone a little bit about that? And maybe, maybe they had a problem with trusting the site. Who knows what it is, but you certainly can learn it in that event, rather than having to go back and ask people that abandoned and almost recall that event. You can have them share their screen at that time, and they can walk you through why they stepped away. The other is in the actual rating service that you may have on your website. People go in and often rate your services. You can actually jump them over to a qualitative event as well, not only just a quantitative piece that comes with it. So those are some options where we're recruiting the actual people in the actual event online. And finally, we can take them right from that website into a registration page. They can fill out their details in that environment, and of course, they can go directly to that live event, whether that's with a moderator in an IDI format, or we can take them towards a bulletin board style format. Once we have that information as well, immediately after that process, we can provide their incentive, and it makes for a happy customer and good research. Finally, I'll just touch base on incentives. It's certainly become a more important piece. We found two cases. If you don't offer enough, people might go through the process of qualifying, but there's not a lot of incentive to show, especially now, today's day and age. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of new mandates and rules and things going on, and certainly things to take people's attention away. So make sure that it's enough, but not too much. In cases where we're offering too much, that's an invite to these imposters, where we're having people trying to cheat their way into the recruit process. And again, you're having to do more work just to get the right people.
So thank you, Dan, for going through those recruiting pieces. And as discussed in the initial breakdown of what we'll be discussing, since Dan went over that piece there, we're going to jump into methodology. And we want to go over the challenges that you may encounter. So we're going to produce a couple of challenges, and then we're also going to give a solution of what we think would be the best fit for you. So the first quality challenge that we'll be going through is you're trying to capture real life experiences as they happen, and you want to see people use real life products in real life situations, but you just can't go ahead and follow people around in a grocery store with a recorder or another telephone and trying to capture their experience. You also can't wait for somebody to fall and use a bandage if that's what you wanted to do a project on. And to be honest, recall isn't always perfect, and the quality of insights can suffer because of it, especially thinking back, on things that can occur, such as your shopping experience, or even just like lounging around in your daily use of any products. You're just naturally going to forget some of those key things. So our solution for that is the discussion board, which is also sometimes known as the bulletin board focus groups. It is a great tool for many factors, and one of the main reasons is time zones. You don't have to only have people in the same city as you. This could spread from state to province to, being international studies. There's really no restrictions on any time zones or anything like that with the board. These groups can also run fairly quickly. So say you might want to have it for 2 or 3 days where participants jump in and interact, or you can have it year long. We've had studies that ran for a year, and some of those examples would be internal organizations where they want staff's input. Another great thing is touching back on, those shop along studies or whatever you might have planned. We also do have our mobile app, which is completely user friendly, and there's really no issues or no fuss to have it downloaded onto your phone. And it's great to just record directly on your phone and put it directly into the discussion. You don't have to depend on participants' perfect recall for any situation, because you're seeing it as it happens, and it's immediately after or even during that time, rather than waiting for that participant to respond, when they get home and maybe they forgot, and everyday life kind of comes into play, and you naturally are going to forget a couple of those key things that happen. Dan's now going to quickly go over the board platform and just kind of touch on those key things that we just went through.
Well, thanks, Anne-Marie. Yes, indeed, I do want to take you through our Bulletin Board application. This is an asynchronous tool. It's one that's typically used over time, often 3 days, but it doesn't have to end there. We have a number of projects that last over a month, even as long as a year. Sometimes they're diary type projects, sometimes it's specific to certain events, and so only when those events are happening, you're giving feedback. It's often used for getting out of the home, out of the office, and on site. And in those cases, you're using a mobile device. So yes, it's certainly something where you're often garnering really more in-depth feedback from your participants. They have the time to think about their answers and give you some real quality insight into your questions. So I'll just walk you through a little bit of a demonstration here, and that's going to give you some idea of just how it works. So I'm showing you the moderator's interface here, and everything really happens in the discussion interface. So in this interface, you can display pretty much anything. In this case, we have some examples of how a website might look in different applications, mobile, tablet, desktop as well. In addition, in the discussion guide, this is where people can submit text answers, but they can also submit video answers. And this is how they come up. As a moderator, you can review them, each of them. You can create tags about the actual videos for your reporting after the fact. Again, participants have the option for text or video. Participants are also we're able to present things like shelf sets, where they can do heat maps. Other advanced tools include things like question types, different question types, quant style, so multiple choice or single choice types as well. Everything is built from kind of a moderator's interface, and where you build your mod guide, you can add questions in this case, very simple to use, and simply add your videos, question types. And there's some advanced features in here as well, just in terms of randomizing some of the groups that you can choose to send specific questions to. Again, these are some of the more advanced features. From there's all the communication pieces that you'll want to consider when choosing an application. So easy ways to communicate with the participants on the fly. You can preload templates for this communication. Very simple to get a message out to all the participants at once, updating them on the progress of the project. But you're also able to build custom templates as well. So let's say that you have a specific project that you need to build something for. The software allows you to build those specific templates and save them. Maybe you can also then transport those to other projects. After that, you can go into our reports. There's a number of different ways that you can download the information and data, different formats, Word, Excel, etc. Yeah. But anyway, those are just a few of the features that that you will have access to when using the board. Oh, and finally, remember, you want to choose an application with a dedicated app, something that that matches your research. And again, the app in today's day and age is perfect for those at-home studies, in-store studies, and any type of diary type studies. People today want to use applications that are both available on their mobile device, but also on their desktops.
All right, so the next quality challenge that we're running into is you're trying to get insights on a sensitive topic. You know, we've seen it with debates and such in the past couple of weeks, or any polarizing topics, and you're worried people just won't be honest because they're going to be self-conscious and the quality of their insights can suffer because of it. Our solution for that is the text chat platform, which is also known as a text focus group. It can make participants, you know, more open, and in those cases where generally those participants may be more introverted and may not want to speak their mind, this allows them actually to express themselves and have that confidence, such as keyboard warriors. They're not afraid to put their opinion because you don't actually see them typing. They know that no one's really going to know their identity, so they have that extra courage to type down everything that they actually feel. A colleague of ours actually brought up a great point. She said that many people dismiss text chat because people aren't comfortable or are worried their insights will suffer from it. But this generation uses text all the time, such as online dating. Let's focus on that real quickly. How many people are finding even love online, and they're not even just finding it in applications, they're finding it on message boards, they're finding it on social media, literally anywhere. And if they can literally find love online, then you can relay emotions to a researcher online via text as well. You no longer have that barrier that was there 20 or so years ago when people were just getting used to the technology. Itsrax has done text chat studies for live televised events, financial product testing, food chains, and many more studies. Text chat based projects are a great choice for a wide variety of studies. I'm going to send it back to Dan to walk through some of the key features you can use to maximize your research quality using our platform.
Thanks again, Anne-Marie. Yes, I'd like to take you through our Itsrax real-time product. This is, selfishly, this is my favorite product. I think it's such a great research product for a number of different reasons. But one thing that I can say, and looking at this slide, is that you guys are you're getting a sneak peek of our brand new product. It's available in beta to a select few clients right now, but will be released in January. So let me tell you a little bit about it. This, you know, when you're picking a new text-based application, think of what you're getting. So you really want something that has a number of different options for you to make it a really quality experience. You want the quant pieces available. You can usually recruit pretty significant number of people. We sometimes see groups as large as 50. In that, then you're able to do some polling, get a real sense of what the group is feeling at that time. Again, a tool that allows for uninfluenced question types, allows people to make their answer before they're seeing everyone else. It has to be easy to use, intuitive, and most importantly, it has to be modernized. Something that's similar to how a participant might see or use other apps like Messenger and Facebook and or WhatsApp. And this is, you're seeing a quick snapshot of the participant interface in this slide below. So when to use this type of product? Well, that really comes in a number of occasions. So I have 3 teenagers, bless my soul. Each of them have said, Dad, you know what, I would love to participate in one of these types of market research, but you know that one where you have to show your face and you have to talk? Not so much. I like texting, I like being anonymous, so that's certainly one place where you might want to consider. Low bandwidth. So we often see this in rural areas. The product works really well, doesn't demand a lot of bandwidth, and especially if you're having recruiting problems, if you need to take those people that don't have the high-speed internet, this might be an option for you to do the research that way. Emerging markets is another area. We have the product available in many different languages, and emerging markets are picking up on this product and using it in those cases. Once again, sometimes because of the bandwidth issues, but it's just a simple, easy way for everyone to get involved in using it. And then, of course, as Anne-Marie mentioned, anonymity is very important. Often when we're doing sensitive topic research, this is the method of choice. People can pick a pseudonym. They can be someone else for a while, but certainly speak to their experience about the topic. Another area where you might want to consider this product is one that we just recently launched, and that's during live events. And had a really interesting project with Megad Research. Debbie Ruth over there, it was sports related. A major sporting organization wanted to broadcast their games live and get feedback on a fanless environment and how that affected the viewer's experience. And it was a really, really excellent way to do that. People could come in, they're watching the game in one pane, they're giving you feedback, answering the questions in the other. It was quite a great experience. If for any reason you have live events you want to test, research, I would highly recommend contacting Debbie Ruth at Megad Research, and I can get you that contact information at any time. Great organization to work with. Again, just a super way to do research. Now, there are a few things you want to consider. It's not recall. You're not asking people to, when you watch the game, what did you think of this? No, this is it. This is right in the event, right when it's happening. So it's a great way to get honest, open feedback. It's in-app, as I mentioned before, so it's right there. There's not a lot of distractions. You're not having them watch TV and use an app. It's right in one space. You can utilize those quant and qual style questions that I talked about before. And this one tended to be easy to recruit. When you know there's people that are going to those events, you simply ask them, listen, would you like to experience it in this format? And we'll pay you a little bit to do it. Again, we didn't have any problems recruiting people who planned to watch the games. But this research moves fast. I recommend a trained moderator or practicing before it takes place, because it's fast research. It's fun, but it's fast.
So our next quality challenge that we're going to go through is, you got a group of people such as doctors who work very weird hours and whose time is really valuable, and you don't want to really make them sit for 3 hours, and they probably don't really want to do that either because they are so busy. Or you just have individuals who just truly don't feel comfortable using text chat platforms or being on a webcam, but are happy to jump on a phone call. Our solution for that is a phone IDI. Doctors, like all business professionals, and really all people actually nowadays, always have their phone on them. And this is often the platform of choice for those really tough recruit populations. And if you still want to share a stimulus, you can with the desktop feature built into the Go platform. So we did just go over that telephone IDI product. Now we're going to jump into our next challenge, which is you really do want to have that personal, natural, face-to-face reaction of a focus group. And travel costs alone can get into the way. It's not just the travel that comes with the fee, but it's hotels, food, parking, all of that, and it really does add up. Another factor that we're encountering now since March is unfortunately COVID-19 and the pandemic that struck, where there is no major gatherings allowed. So having in-person interviews might actually be really difficult. Also, if, for instance, you wanted to have participants have a product in hand and you wanted them to utilize it in their own home, how are you going to be able to do that? And our solution for that is video focus groups. And this allows for a more traditional feel to your research. These are great for when you want to replicate that in-person experience as closely as possible and see the faces of those you're interviewing. This is another method available within the Itsrax real-time product. If you're worried about having a backroom for your clients, you don't have to worry about that any longer. There are many online platforms to choose from, but not all of them have research built in mind. All of Itsrax's platforms mentioned above were built for research and have virtual backroom capabilities for clients to log in and experience the discussion as it happens without interfering or being seen by the participants. The observers will not only have the chance to speak to one another, but can have an open discussion with the moderator to allow more targeted probing questions during the group. I'll let now Dan jump into the platform and show you a quick walkthrough of what it looks like.
Thanks again, Anne-Marie, and again, you guys are being offered a treat. This is a snapshot of our new virtual video-based focus group. We're super excited about it. It will be coming out in full version in January. Just some of the key features that really separate this from other video focus group applications, but also conferencing software that some people are using now as an alternative for trying to run these groups. One of the really important features we heard from clients that we record single stream recording. So more and more research is being used in things like advertising, obviously with the participants' permission, but getting honest feedback from people and then applying that either in training environments, advertising environments, things like that. So having a high quality single stream video of each participant, in addition to the collective video, it just really adds another measure for your reporting. It's important to have a great virtual backroom. Now, from what I understand, we're the first to offer a virtual backroom where your clients can actually interact both before, after, and during the actual event. You can see up in the top right corner there, that's our clients in the virtual backroom. Again, there you have their own audio stream. They're able to talk amongst each other, but they can also shut that off and listen to the group that's taking place. There's a direct messaging component, a waiting room component. So a lot of the communication in terms of getting people set up and ready can be managed in that environment. Things like, if you have a disruptive participant or someone that is, maybe isn't following the protocol, you can move them into the waiting room and discuss it with them. Perhaps you have to remove them, but it can all be managed in a proper environment. And again, these are all just the advantages of using something that is truly built for online focus group research. And then, when you're thinking about choosing that application now, you obviously have a number of options, but I mentioned some of the conferencing software, and really, in many cases, often price, they're a great option for your research. In other cases, though, you really want to consider what you're choosing. There's a number of things that both yourself as a researcher will want to be able to apply to get that quality event, but also important for your clients. Is it built for researchers? Is there a real virtual backroom that you can manage and run? Does it require plugins? We all know the work involved in getting clients and even participants to download plugins right now. Sometimes people are working from home, and in those cases, their offices have new restrictions in terms of downloading things. So this is a plugin free application. So those are just some things you want to consider. I can give you this chart. We will give you these slides after. You can use it for your own comparison. But with that, I'll pass it back to Anne-Marie.
The last thing that we really wanted to touch on is the right technology. We have shown you what the Itsrax has to offer from the technology inside and out, and some of the key features that you might need for your research. But I really wanted to touch on those extra key features that we can provide that we didn't really discuss today. One of those is project management. So our project managers will cover many of your pain points, from assisting with recruitment to finalizing any small detail. Our team is there to support you. With the sales team and the corporate account executives, we want to ensure that you have all the information to be successful. We pride ourselves on being approachable and all desire strong relationships with every single one of our clients. We don't just want your business, we genuinely do want to build a partnership with everyone that we work with. If, for instance, you have any difficulties, such as your methodology or pricing, we want to be the people that you come to directly and feel that you can be open about any situation or problem that you may have. The next team that I would like to go over is our technical support team. And this team makes sure that your Itsrax experience is above anything else. They are there for training purposes and ensuring that the platform is as DIY as you'd like it to be. And they also ensure that your branding and any whiteboards that you would like to include in your discussion are immaculate, and that your participants and moderators have a seamless experience. These teams offer way more than what I've just stated, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of what Itsrax can do. We want your project to be a success, and we want you to look good to whomever you need to. Your clients, your colleagues, boards, superiors, whatever it may be. Zoom doesn't pick up your call if people have issues with their webcam, but you can guarantee that our team will be there to answer your phone call. So again, just really want to quickly touch on what we discussed today and some of those key findings. So again, the three main things that we discussed today were to recruit the right participants, choose the right methodology, and use the right technology. With all of these three key points, your online research project should be a success. That brings us to the end of our discussion today. Here you can see our contact information, not only myself, but Dan Weber's information as well. You also have a link to our website and YouTube channels in case you did want to watch any previous webinars. We do want to hear from everybody that joined today. So, if you have any questions or concerns that you would like to reach out to us directly, please let us know, and we can also forward your information to the right person. So right now, we just want to open up the discussion for any questions. So I'll give it to Garnett and Crystal to go over those questions that might have been asked during the discussion.
Great, thank you. We'll now move into our question and answer session. So the first question here, do the texts ride along during the webcam focus groups? So Dan, do you want to take that? Our tech support sort of riding along in the video focus groups? Oh, just 1 second here. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, sure. Sorry about that. Yes, indeed, we have a dedicated technical support that are close at hand during those groups. There's rarely issues, but certainly if there are, we want to make sure they're resolved quickly.
Great. Okay. And the next question here, can a moderator start or mark as favorites reposts through the 3 days so that can they star posts or mark them as favorite reposts through the 3 days so that they can refer back to and maybe export those starred responses? Great, so this is reporting to, this would be a video or online discussion board. And Anne-Marie, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely, I will. I'm just going to go ahead and take the screen from you, Garnett, if that's all right. And I'm going to change it so I'd be able to show it to you all.
So we can see your screen, the IDI feature sheet. So if the drop down, you can choose the monitor that you want to share.
Yes, perfect. I'm just getting there. Unfortunately, I have the 2 monitors going. So there, you should be able to see the Go right now. Yep. Fantastic, you guys. Okay, so in regards to that, we do have that tool built into the board. So if you did want to go ahead and create a note, I'm going to go ahead and click edit note, and you can have all these categories pre-built. These are all interchangeable. So maybe the verbiage isn't right, or maybe you didn't want to affiliate positive with a green color. You can go ahead and change all of that and leave your comments here. So, great comment. You can also be able to share that with all your observers. And if you did, you just easily click that button there, and I can go ahead and save that. So we have created a note here. When it comes down to the reporting features, if I go to the transcripts, you will be able to review all those notes, and it's all listed under this area. So this is what the transcript page generally looks like. You have the opportunity to download it via Word, Excel, however you'd like to go about it. And then whenever ready, you can go ahead and click that include notes, and we could see that all those kind of categories are listed here. Once I'm ready to export, I click that button. And then within here, we're going to jump down to that video, and we're going to be able to see any notes that were left. So we could see here that there's the video responses, and then you're also going to be able to see the response tags as well and how they were abbreviated. So absolutely, we have that included.
Thanks, Emery.
Thank you. Is technical support an optional cost?
It is on some of our products. Right now on the text chat product, you can choose to have a dedicated technical support or host per se. The reason being, quite simply, is we rarely, if ever, experience technical difficulties with that product. Sometimes when you're using video, the participants, they're getting better now. Most people are using their video cameras, but in the past, certainly, you often want someone there to just make sure that you can facilitate everyone getting online and their video cameras working well for the actual study. So your options are, it's included with the video focus groups. It's optional and can be, you can add a host for the text-based focus groups.
Great. Okay. Thank you. So if you have questions, please enter them into the GoToWebinar panel. Our next question here, is the virtual backroom limited in the number of viewers?
So in the video focus group, yes. So there's a maximum of 8 available for the back end. Not so much for the text groups, again, because it's far less intense in terms of bandwidth. So we've had, well, quite frankly, we've actually had a system where we've had literally hundreds of people watching a video backend, or sorry, in the back end of the text group.
Great. Okay. And do you support recruitment only, or is the platform available? Usually the platform, or can you use the platform just as a tech only, or do you have to use it with your recruitment services?
No, most certainly. A good portion of our clients are DIY, and they just love our tool. They use it. Many market research companies use our product. They manage all of their own recruiting incentives, everything else. So you certainly have that option. Whatever you choose, we'll come in and help you in whatever capacity you need.
Great. Okay, and next question here. Can you share a little bit more about the features of your telephone in-depth interview solution?
Anne-Marie, do you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So there is quite a bit of features, and unfortunately we didn't really dive into that telephone IDI today too much because it is a fairly straightforward platform. You know, the mobile portion is very easy to use. A great thing about that is we have a call out functionality. So with that call out functionality, participants, moderators, observers, no one really has to log in or call and do the pin or anything like that. The system itself will call everyone out, as well as having the ability to download the transcripts via Itsrax. That is an additional feature that we do have, but that is available through Itsrax as well. And we do have those audio tagging tools, audio highlights, something that we similarly what we went through just with the board with that video, how you were able to, you know, tag it however you'd like. And there's quite actually a few more features. And another one that we did really touch on today was that backroom capability, which is really, really important, especially if you did want to have observers in the discussion. So that is also available in there. If you are interested in the telephone IDI feature, please let any of us know. We'd be happy to do a walkthrough with anyone that's interested with it.
One other thing I'll mention is it's mobile capable. And so, you know, often it's times tracking people down, and they don't have to necessarily be positioned at their desk in home or at office. So that's certainly an option. One other thing that I think is a really interesting feature is that it calls out, the system calls out at the interview time, as opposed to the person actually having to call in. Again, it just removes a few of the technical pieces that And we often use this tool when we're interviewing seniors. Makes it very simple. They know they have their call coming, pick up the phone and begin the interview. So those are a couple of highlights.
Great. Can the observers participate in a video conference call after the focus group?
Most certainly. That's one of the reasons why we built it, that this desire to meet pre and post focus group, just to have a real discussion. And in some of the traditional applications, they're not able to share their videos. They're not able to actually have that real backroom experience where they can have a conversation about how they may want to change the project going forward, maybe some insights that they learned during that process. So it's a super important part of the research process, and that's what we've tried to capture with this new tool.
How do you manage the consent process for the participants in agreeing to do the research?
I can answer that, Emery, if you like. So in the recruit process, we do have a terms of use and a non-disclosure that each participant is asked to review and check off. We can go as far as actually having a separate actual signatures and PDFs from a consent standpoint as well.
Great, thank you. And again, any other questions, please enter them into the bottom area of the GoToWebinar panel. We have another one. What is the ideal number of participants for a text chat focus group?
That's interesting. I think we typically see that 8 to 12 range. You have a little bit more flexibility as a moderator. It's not quite, well, one of the real advantages is you ask a question and everyone can be answering that at the same time, whereas in a traditional focus group or a video focus group, people can't be talking over each other. So you can actually go through a whole bunch of content in a very short while. It really sometimes depends, because it's a very flexible tool. Sometimes people want to even kind of delve into the quant side of things, where they're putting 50, 75, maybe even 100 people into that exercise, and then pushing more of the comments towards a quant reaction, as we did with the live events. So ideally, we're seeing that 8 to 12 if you just have a structured focus group environment, but you can use the tool for some kind of really interesting and flexible research projects.
What is the typical length of a text chat focus group?
Same thing, either 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Those are the two that we see booked most often.
During a video focus group, do the participants have to download anything in order to participate?
Anne-Marie?
So for the video, currently, no. And moving forward, we're even using our new platform that's coming out soon that you got a sneak peek of as well. No, it's a great tool. There's no downloads, no major plugins. Currently with Adobe, there are those additional plugins, but our technical support team is, like as I mentioned, they're fantastic, and they'll ensure that nothing really prevents participants from joining, that all the firewalls and anything that prevents people from logging in will not be an issue. And again, it is just because it is with Adobe currently, but once we transition into our new platform coming 2021, which we're all really, really excited about, there will be nothing.
Great. What type of recordings do you get after the video sessions?
Well, in our video reporting feature, we supply the videos for you. If they're looking for the video type, I think it's MP4, Garnet. I'm not quite sure. I might have to get back to someone on that. But yes, so you'll have in that reporting feature, you'll have each of the individual people's video recordings, so you can pull that out separately, as well as the collective group recording.
Does your platform offer facial analysis technology?
Not at this time, but we have worked with a number of companies that have used, because we're getting that really good high quality individual videos. They're then using some of the standard facial recognition companies to run those videos in their software. And we've been told they work quite well.
Can observers private message each other during the sessions?
Yes, certainly in the new software as well. Anne-Marie, I'll just point out that the IDI is available in the new software, not just a group. So no plugins for our IDI. That was kind of the first stage, is to get it working between a, in a single, in an IDI format, and then expand it into the group. So, but in this new software, you're certainly able to private message, as well as in the Adobe Connect software. You can do that as well.
How many people can be involved in your online discussion board forums?
So we like to set a maximum of 200. It's as much for just in the loading process, and if someone is answering a question, if each person answered one or maybe multiple times to a certain question, all of a sudden that page gets very long. There's lots to go through. So from a management standpoint, that's what we recommend, is a maximum of 200. Those are what we really call mini communities. And usually when you're looking for that number of people, those are sometimes the projects that run over courses of months or even years, where we've got maybe a select group of people that we want to talk to on an ongoing basis. But yeah, that's the mark. Usually we're seeing, again, in that 15 to 20 range. Would that be about accurate, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, I was gonna say
even,
yeah, 25 is that kind of sweet part too, like somewhere in between there for sure, absolutely.
Yep.
Right, and with those larger groups, the subgroup function is really helpful to break those people into smaller groups, and there can be subgroups within the discussion board.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for all of the great questions. We appreciate everyone taking the time to view the webinar. If you have any additional questions or would like more information, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you out, discuss your next upcoming project. And we wish you all the best in gathering quality research in your future online sessions.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of our American attendees today. Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.